Story 1. Super proud to be a lifelong resident of Washington because it is so versatile. The state has diverse nature and culture, and it has cared about us as long as I have lived here. Story 2. Prince once said, "The cold keeps the bad people out." It is not perfect, but the northern part of our state is as gorgeous as any. The metropolitan area has two distinct twin cities that at times have a real rivalry. I can drive 90 minutes and see the beginning of the largest river in America. Thank you for raising me, Minnesota. Story 3. California's good to me, and so I thank California for giving me the things I need: the sun, the rain, and an apple seed. Story 4. In general, I am proud to be a Virginia resident. I live in Southwest Virginia, and I do not want to live anywhere else ever again. Virginia has its share of faults, though. It is important that we do not forget history. Also, we have a star on our flag. Story 5. I am Native American, and I am from Minnesota because that is where my ancestors are from. I feel very connected to it. It is also very beautiful, especially Lake Superior. Story 6. Born, raised, and living in Oregon. I have lived in other parts of the country, which only made me love Oregon more. It has the coast, mountains, forests, and deserts. The average state park is more beautiful than anything in most states. People are nice, and the government tries to do the right thing. Story 7. I don't even live in my home state of West Virginia and did not move back at any of the multiple opportunities. I am profoundly disappointed in the state in almost every category. You can say it has beautiful natural features, but its government and citizens would destroy it all for gas money. Story 8. I am from the great state of Maine, the state closest to Africa and the first to see the sun each day. Maine played a pivotal role at Gettysburg on Little Round Top and is the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. It has the best lobster rolls and maple syrup you can find. Need I say more? I think not. Remember Maine. Story 9. Yes, for the most part, Illinois has its problems, but it is also very ethnically diverse with the Chicagoland area and many professional and personal opportunities. There are some nice parks and recreational areas and affordable living outside of Chicago. It is also the most average state in the United States, meaning there is a little something for everyone. Story 10. I'm from Alaska, and I have to say we are probably some of the proudest citizens in the nation. And we have that right because we're just a little different. I'm going to get downvoted for saying this, but Alaskans have to endure some of the most extreme weather shifts on the planet. It's supposed to be in the low 90s tomorrow with less than 20% humidity, and we have multiple fires blazing in our borough alone, which covers most of interior Alaska. The park's highway from my central city of Fairbanks, which is hundreds of miles away from any other civilization, going to Anchorage is basically closed because of wildfires. We just had a ban on all fireworks in the borough, played continuously on the radio. Not that you can see them anyway because the sun is up 24 hours a day. That's our summer, and it's smoky and hot, and we enjoy it anyway because we know what's coming. Have you ever thought about enduring 8 straight weeks of minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit and colder, down to minus 65? It's a serious challenge. We all still have to go to work and grocery shopping just like everyone in the lower 48 states. I'll be sitting at a stoplight with tens of other cars at 50 below zero, in perpetual darkness, so we never really know what time of day it is, waiting for it to change. Despite having grown up here, I still find it surreal: the ice fog, the car exhaust in the air from the inversion layer that hovers over Fairbanks. So my point is, we who live here, at least in Fairbanks, Alaska, are absolutely survivalists. But there's a caveat. We also love each other dearly, no matter what, and will stop for anyone on the side of the road. Sometimes we form lines to check and make sure we don't have something that would help them. And you don't see that anywhere else, really. Oh, and ditches, we always go in, and someone is always there to pull you out before the troopers arrive. Story 11. Oregon's health plan literally saved my life when I needed it most. When I was freshly 26 and no longer covered by my parents' insurance, and suddenly faced an immediately life-threatening illness that gave me only weeks to live. Because of their robust public healthcare coverage, I was able to get the treatment I needed to survive. It is sad to see so much funding cut from this program due to the recent healthcare bill, but Oregon will always be a special place to me wherever I go. Story 12. Yes, I live in California now, but my home state is Massachusetts. We are a bunch of loyal, stubborn people, and we are not afraid to show it. We may be rough on you, but we will always tell you the truth. We will show you how to do something and even help you do it. We will also make fun of you the entire time for not knowing how to do it properly. But no one said we were perfect. Story 13. I am from Oregon, and while my city Portland has its issues, it is still a beautiful state with incredible people, beer, art, music, and landscape. I am truly excited about it often. Long live the Pacific Northwest. Story 14. My home state is Oklahoma, and it is the worst place filled with very unpleasant people. Story 15. Louisiana has good food, fun music, and an interesting natural environment. I am glad to be Cajun, but Louisiana has many problems in various ways. There is no chance I would ever move back. Story 16. I am in Massachusetts. I am proud to be from my state. However, I am not proud to be an American at all right now due to the events that have occurred over the last 6 months. Story 17. Yes, I'll take Michigan. It is a purple state. I don't have to worry about hurricanes or severe weather disasters. It is next to Canada in case I need to flee. I know I won't buy it, but it feels good to be next to an escape. Story 18. Yes, we have Melanie Stansberry here in New Mexico, and she has done a great job of standing up for what is right. It is also a pretty state. Story 19. New Yorker for life. While there are certainly many of us who are obnoxious, we are tough as nails and can generally take anything thrown at us. Story 20. In many ways, I am, but some of my fellow Georgians unleashed Marjorie Taylor Greene on the world. Story 21. New Jersey, and yes, we get a bad reputation, but it is good here. Close to New York City and Philadelphia. With diverse biomes. Mountains, marshland, the Pine Barrens, beaches, cities, suburbs, and farmland. All 4 seasons. Plus Wawa and not having to pump your own gas. Jersey Club music, bagels, and pizza. Story 22. I'm originally from New Jersey. I live in the Deep South now. It's not that I'm proud of the state of New Jersey because there is a lot not to be proud of. But there is something about the people that I miss dearly. They are just no-nonsense kind of people. They won't smile to your face and betray you, which to me seems really common in the South. People call it polite here, but it just seems so phony. Story 23. I used to be very proud to be from Texas. It is ingrained in you from birth to be a proud Texan. I gradually shifted to being proud to be from Austin, and now I am just glad to be out of Texas. Story 24. California has been manifest destiny and is still the American dream. It is a melting pot of diversity with world-class cuisine and all types of terrain for any mood. From San Diego to Eureka, there is a sense of serenity in knowing someone from California. Story 25. While Oregon has high living prices, the scenery and historical landmarks are extremely breathtaking. Story 26. I am very proud to be from North Carolina. Mountains, Piedmont, and the most beautiful coastline in the country. College basketball at its finest. Middle-of-the-road politics. Small towns or big cities. We have them both. Decent secondary education. Great business environment in Charlotte, Raleigh, Wilmington, and the Triad. There is something here for everyone. Perfect? No, but fewer cons than most states. I cannot imagine another place to call home. Story 27. I am from Utah. Utah has made some questionable and outright bad choices, and our current governor is not good. The only positive thing about him is that his last name, Cox, makes it easy to make jokes. Story 28. Actually, yes, I'm from Washington State. And no, not Seattle. There are a lot of people who think Washington equals Seattle, but there are great cities north, south, east, west, and in between. Especially my hometown of Spokane, Washington. Shout out to Bellingham. Spokane represent. It's gorgeous. B. All the access to water, mountains, fishing, hunting, camping, and outdoors in general. C. The close proximity to other states and Canada. D. I love seeing it turn from mountainous to farmland to mountains to the ocean when I drive across the state. E. The differing social classes and diversity across the state. F. How my governor actually protects women from harmful right-wing agendas. G. The trees, plants, animals, the views that resemble Bob Ross paintings, residential communities, my neighbors. H. The sunshine, skiing and snowboarding, fishing, swimming, all the outdoor activities, and the indoor ones. Summertime and wintertime in the 509. 1. The familiarity of my homeland, even though I was born in California. J. We have Hoopfest and Bloomsday. K. Go Zags. L. And just being able to say I'm a Spokenite. Then you meet someone in Hawaii who is also a Spokenite or a Coug, and you just know you relate. I feel safe. And community colleges, and the possibility of advancement in whatever field you choose. Oh, the hometown spirit. Go Saxons. Go Cougs. Go Eagles. Go Zags. I love you, Spokane. Whenever I hear America the Beautiful, I think of the lyrics. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. It makes me think of my state. Always. I realize I'm so lucky to grow up in Washington state. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood. And when I hear from sea to shining sea, I remember that my state borders one of those seas. All Washingtonians, we are lucky to enjoy this vast and beautiful area of the world. I love you, 42nd state, for your trees, plants, people, rivers, lakes, ponds, for seasons, rough streets, and just being an all-around great place to be. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Love to all from our United States, specifically Washington state. Everyone be safe and kind to one another. And God bless the United States of America. Story 29. Sort of. Colorado has changed quite a bit. We have positive aspects, such as abortion rights and generally friendly people. However, as the state has become more populated, it has not managed some issues well, including rent increases, lack of affordable housing, forest destruction for housing, and homelessness. It is a complex situation. I love my state because I grew up here and know it well. I do not think I would feel this conflicted if I had not grown up here. Story 30. California. We are not the people you think we are. Those are the transplants who move here and think they do not have flaws. Story 31. I am proud of both my home state of Michigan and my adopted home of California. Both have amazing nature, diversity, culture, world-class educational institutions, and excellent sports franchises. I am probably prouder to be a Michigander and a Californian than I am to be an American. Story 32. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. There are some nice aspects of it, but personally it did not fit me. When I was 20, I took a trip to Portland, Oregon, for my sister's wedding. We took a day trip to Washington. I instantly felt like I needed to be there. A few years later, I joined the United States Navy on the condition that I would be stationed in Washington. I have been here for 26 years. Story 33. Less of the state itself, more of the geographical area and culture. I loved being a wild Appalachian mountain kid. It was common to swim in any lake or pond I found, explore caves, and go fishing with my homemade rod. I will take that over any city every time. Story 34. I am originally from Indiana. As far as I am concerned, there is nothing to be proud of. I am more proud that I moved away than that I am originally from there. Story 35. Very proud of my home state of New Hampshire. Good cities, mountains, schools, and politics. I grew up and lived there until I was about 20 years old. More than 20 years later, I do not know if I would move back. I am also a nomad and have lived in 6 other states since then and traveled all over the world. However, I will always sing New Hampshire's praises. Story 36. Proud to claim Pennsylvania as my home commonwealth. I could literally write a book listing the accomplishments and firsts. Story 37. From Tennessee. I love it. It is a great place. I miss country life and wish there were good jobs in rural towns. Alas. Story 38. I live in Massachusetts, but very near the border with New Hampshire. Today, I saw an elderly man wearing a t-shirt that read, "Welcome to New Hampshire. Let's not mess it up." I love New Hampshire, but that attitude about Massachusetts belongs on t-shirts worn by elderly men. Story 39. Nope. Not anymore. Ohio has moved so far right that it has gone off the cliff. We are hopelessly gerrymandered so that there is no way Jim Jordan, that piece of shit, will ever not be elected. We codified abortion rights in the state through a vote, and the Republicans in the state Senate are trying very hard to find ways to ignore and overturn the will of the people. Schools are geared toward religious charters. They hand out vouchers to anyone now to get them to attend religious schools. Our infrastructure is crumbling, and our governor is a supporter of former President Donald Trump. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Story 40. I am from Kentucky, and I am very proud of that being my home state. It is the home of the Kentucky Derby, moonshine, many small local businesses, horses, green grass, and nice people. Story 41. Hell yes, I love being from New York. We are an incredibly diverse place, and you can have people from all over the world all in one neighborhood. I love going to a new restaurant and having such versatility in what is available. I just love the variety. New York is rare in that you can find everything no matter what. It is known for that as well, and Queens is actually the most linguistically diverse urban center on Earth. It is also amazing to go from beaches to cities to the Appalachians. I love going upstate in the fall and seeing all the foliage. I am incredibly grateful that I was born and raised here. I love to travel, but I do not think I will ever move out of state due to the wonderful life I can build here. Story 42. Idaho? Absolutely not. It is a racist place on otherwise beautiful land. They do not care if you burned it all down. Story 43. Idaho. Geographically, yes. The people, no. Unreal beauty and endless public land, but it comes at the cost of Nazi sympathizers running state government and a well-documented history of white supremacists. Story 44. From Iowa. Most of my life, I loved it. We were among the top in the nation for our public school rankings year after year. Slowly, those public school rankings started to decline. As it happened, our state shifted to the Republican Party. It is concerning how clearly the attack on education results in Republican-leaning votes. Uneducated people lean toward the Republican Party, and Republicans continue to successfully attack our education system term after term. Story 45. I am. Californians are not perfect. There is a lot of corruption in our politics. Wealth disparity is depressing, but we do the right things in the moments that matter. I have been here my whole life, so it is easy to criticize, but when I go to other states, I am reminded of my privilege. My friends from Nevada think I am a spoiled Californian because I do not agree with the concept of at-will employment in Las Vegas. How are you going to let employers fire people for no apparent reason? We have a lot of work to do when it comes to workers' rights, but compared to many other states, we do not compromise when it comes to protecting workers. Story 46. California is the best state. I will never live anywhere else in the United States of America, although I am interested in moving to Europe. Story 47. Love my Oregon. The natural beauty is breathtaking. It has some human-induced flaws, but it is easy to live here, especially in Portland. I have been lucky enough to travel, and Oregon is the best for me, although Oaxaca is a solid second. Story 48. Washington State? Absolutely. Beautiful scenery, amazing locally grown food, Puget Sound, Seattle, the mountains, and more. Story 49. Born and raised in California by the beach. My state takes care of residents through education, medical access, and loans, all of which I have experienced. I love being able to go skiing or to the beach on the same day. I don't mind paying higher taxes for smooth highways and services for others. Story 50. I love where I am from. I also introduce myself as being from California when I am abroad because everyone knows it, and it does not carry the stigma of racist or unintelligent Americans that many people might have. Story 51. Born in California with only 6.5 years away, in segments due to my father's job. I am 74 now and plan to die here, but any part of the United States is beautiful to me. Orange County will be gone in 3.5 years. Story 52. I am from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the best state. I still believe in many of the founding principles laid out by John Adams and the heroism of our patriot forebears. I take pride in our history and commitment to a government founded on equality and the common good. Story 53. No, I was born in Indiana and the state's decline over the decades is truly horrific. I moved to Maryland and love my adopted state. I am planning a tattoo that celebrates her. We have stronger unions and worker protections. My county is a safe harbor for many displaced queer youth who were either kicked out of their homes or fled nearby West Virginia and rural Pennsylvania. We strengthen voting rights and reproductive rights and more. We are welcoming to immigrants and have remarkable diversity. We have the best flag of any state, city, or country, and put Old Bay on everything. Mountains, the Chesapeake Bay, and the Atlantic Ocean are here, and our official state sport is jousting. I am a proud Marylander now. Story 54. Yes and no. My family has been in Texas for many generations. My family lived in Texas before it was a state, so there is a real love for the place. I've lived all over the United States, and I always feel like I'm home when I'm in Texas. It's not a specific house or even town, as my family lives all over the state. The political climate in the state is unpleasant. How do people keep voting for Ted Cruz? He has the most punchable face I've ever seen. I mean, why does he always look like he's smelling something unpleasant? To be honest, it's probably all the foolish things that come out of his mouth constantly. So revolting, his own body is rejecting it. Story 55. California feels like the only safe state, and even then we are not immune to the challenges. I am proud enough of where I am from. It is a great place to live, even if not perfect. Story 56. As a New Jersey resident, we get a bad reputation, and it is mostly justified. Driving here is awful, and people are not nearly as polite or respectful as they are in other states. Story 57. I am proud to be from Illinois, as far away from it as possible. Illinois is famous for having the most convicted felon governors. Story 58. I grew up in central Illinois in a blue farming county. Most of the people are hardworking and work in education, healthcare, or agriculture. You might think they would be very conservative because it is rural, but most people support civil liberties and social services for their neighbors. I will always be proud of that. Story 59. I lived in a small town in Indiana. My wife and I moved 35 years ago after I finished college. We couldn't wait to leave. It was the best decision we ever made. Our children, who are now adults, experienced a life we never would have had. Terrible education systems and small-town thinking kept the bar so low that no one ever left. We moved from Indiana to Texas and then from Texas to California. Indiana was a great place to be from. Proud? No. Embarrassed? No. Glad to be out? Yes. Story 60. I am very proud to be from Connecticut. I have grown used to all 4 seasons and can laugh at Texans when they get an inch of snow and their entire state falls apart. I am also proud of many policies of the state government and of Connecticut's inclusivity to all people. In Connecticut, you are never far from whatever you are looking for. New York is a day trip for half the state, and Boston is a day trip for the other half. If you want a beach day, the shoreline is nice, and there are many lakes and ponds. Hiking is always fun in the Litchfield Hills, and there are many great restaurants with different kinds of cuisine. Pizza here is spectacular, and New Haven style is the correct style, not New York style pizza. Story 61. Not the state itself, but the city. Only people from here are allowed to criticize it. If any outsiders say something negative about the city, even if it is something I have also said, we have a problem. Story 62. Proud of California because we have natural beauty, sunshine, happiness, clean air, and water. Everyone is welcome. Story 63. Washington. I love the natural beauty. I understand the mixed opinions from people due to the east-west shift from the Cascades. But I love it here. Story 64. Yes, I'm beginning to think of myself as a Californian first and an American second. I was born in a small coastal town and have lived in all its major cities. We have our flaws, big ones that need to be changed, but I love its people, both those born here and those who found a home here. I'll always see home in it and treasure its seashores, rolling hills, damp redwood forests, mighty sierras and coastal ranges, islands, beautiful deserts, and valleys more than many other things. Story 65. I'm from Mississippi. I know we have the worst reputation, but I love the people. I love the resilience. I love the music, and specifically the Jackson community, warts and all. I want to move back one day, which I am sure most Mississippi natives will find hilarious because getting out of Mississippi is such a common goal it has become a meme. Story 66. I am proud of being Californian because this is the place where the late 1960s countercultural movement began. This movement was not just an American phenomenon. It quickly and significantly influenced global civilization. The level of social fervor among ordinary people to question authority and promote egalitarian ideals is arguably unmatched in modern times. Story 67. I love New Hampshire with all my heart. I miss it every day I am not there, which is often because I live in Virginia now. New Hampshire air fills my lungs and revitalizes my soul. I sleep better, breathe better, and experience much less anxiety and stress. The forests, mountains, rivers, and lakes are amazing. We can include Vermont and Maine as well. I have camped, hiked, snowmobiled, cross-country skied, snowshoed, swam, and attended every fair and festival they had to offer when I lived there. I miss the people and even the accent. If I won a big enough lottery, I would relocate in a heartbeat. Story 68. I have always been proud to be from Virginia, especially Northern Virginia. It has incredible history, diversity, proximity to Washington, D.C., and a variety of cultural influences that have contributed to music and fashion at an elite level for the past 30 years. There are also many aspects that can be criticized, which may cause personal discomfort. Additionally, the unpredictable weather ensures that you never have the exact same experience twice. Story 69. Illinoisan. Neither proud nor a genius, just living my life. I have everything I need and want for nothing. Story 70. New Jersey is pretty relaxed, honestly. It is close to New York and Philadelphia, located on the Northeast Corridor with serviceable public transit, pretty good schools, and small enough to get around easily. The best part is the super diverse cultures, offering lots of different and unique experiences. The biggest downside, besides cost, is the weather. The Northeast is challenging in that regard. Story 71. No, come to Louisiana for a few weeks, and you will understand why we rank last behind every other state in almost every person-related metric like education. My state breeds ignorance, selfishness, and prejudice. On the surface, the people are fine, but if you get to know them, you will quickly uncover how troubled we are due to the consistently poor leadership of the state. The same leadership we keep electing, which really says something about who we are. I have yet to meet a person without some form of major trauma or who is not abusing drugs. Anyone over 31 tends to hold some form of racist views. Everyone who is doing okay financially is on some form of welfare. Meanwhile, if they are not, it is a struggle, making welfare almost essential for the average Louisianian. There are almost no job opportunities aside from basic hard labor or service jobs, and the result is that our college graduates are constantly moving out of state. Police are everywhere, constantly pulling people over and giving out traffic tickets as the state government tries to extract as much money as possible from the populace. This is my conclusion for why there are so many police officers because, at least in my specific area, there are too many police officers, and the crime rate does not justify it. The people are politically illiterate. Honestly, even our elderly are actually illiterate. Our leaders are corrupt, and our resources are being extracted by the rich aristocrats and sent out of state while the people who actually live here suffer below them. Our capital city is a poor place aside from the downtown area. I hate the state. The young give me some hope, though. Most young adults I know are Democrats. Once the older generation passes away, I feel like Louisiana will turn blue in a reactionary shift. Story 72. Massachusetts. Never been prouder. I expect when push comes to shove, We will be at the forefront of whatever happens again. Story 73. As a lifelong resident of Massachusetts, I take great pride in where I am from. This state is the birthplace of American democracy, from the Boston Tea Party to the Battle of Lexington and Concord. We are not just part of history, we are one of the states where our nation was founded. Massachusetts is also a global leader in education, medicine, and science. We were among the first states to address affordable health insurance for all. We prioritize education for our children, and every town offers free senior services for our elderly. What makes me proudest is the culture. We have grit, intelligence, and a distinct personality you will not find anywhere else. We are smart, historically grounded, and funny in our own stubborn New England way. Story 74. I'm a little proud of living in Michigan because of the lakes, I suppose. It's pretty cool, and I don't take it for granted. I feel more lucky than anything that I live in a Democratic-run state, though, and am very ashamed we have some of the most unhinged supporters of former President Donald Trump here. This is gross. Story 75. Ohio, here. Right up until politics enters the conversation, and then no, I am not. I am embarrassed as hell. Story 76. I love Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is considered a mini version of the United States of America. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are urban and liberal cities near the coast. About 2.5 hours outside these cities, you are in God's country. There is beautiful nature and amazing places throughout. Pennsylvania is also massive, like many states. You can fit entire countries within the state of Pennsylvania. It is unfortunate that many people from here believed false information. They will all have to suffer now. Story 77. I consider myself to be a New Englander. I have lived in 4 of the 6 states. My mother lived in the other 2. Most of the years were in Massachusetts. It is not so much pride as being happy I live in a blue state and I am somewhat insulated from the crazed populism. I would feel the same anywhere on the Northeast Corridor, the West Coast, Northern Illinois, non-Boebert, Colorado, Minneapolis-St. Paul, or Santa Fe. Proud? I am proud that 97% of Massachusetts residents have health insurance. I am proud that any family making less than $75,000 goes to the state universities for free. The same applies to anyone over 25 at the community colleges. I am proud that the public schools are among the top in the country and the state funds schools in deprived areas. I have traveled the world extensively, so I have a fairly broad worldview. I am aware of the flaws. Story 78. No, nothing. Born in Tennessee, later lived in Mississippi. Difficult places. Now in Kentucky. Proud of Andy Barr, but then we keep electing Mitch McConnell. I wish I had moved west when I was young. Story 79. Extremely proud to be from North Carolina. We have a very beautiful and diverse state. You can drive from a cool beach resort to a smoky mountain cabin in about 4 hours. There is a gorgeous amount of land. Story 80. Ohio has many wonderful people, some of my favorite in the world. However, the state faces significant challenges. We experience severe gerrymandering, making political recovery difficult. Our laws and driving conditions have issues, and many voted for the controversial political leader known as the Tangerine Tyrant. Our Supreme Court often disregards our votes, similar to the situation across the country with the Supreme Court of the United States. Despite these challenges, my favorite people remain here, so I am here as well. Story 81. Proud of being from Texas? I cannot say with certainty that I am. However, I do love this state with all my heart. Story 82. I just moved to my 3rd state. Each state has been completely different, a mixed bag of both advantages and disadvantages. I am not sure I have a home state anymore. Home is my wife and children. Story 83. Actually, yes. It is a small, not terribly noteworthy state, but we are driven, direct, and stand up for human rights and environmental causes. Story 84. Proud of my state and my leaders, except our Republican California District 1 Representative Doug LaMalfa. The state of California truly takes care of their disabled veterans, and I appreciate that. I have traveled all over this country, and we definitely have the best weather. Even our really hot summers are manageable because it is dry heat. However, with temperatures rising every year, the fire danger has increased. This issue is not unique to California. Much of Canada has been experiencing significant fires in recent years as well. Story 85. Maine is one of the last bastions of caring about our nature. We are hard-headed northern farmers, blue-collar workers, and fishermen. When trouble arises, Maine will be fine. If it comes to a fight, we will protect our land with bitter fury. We don't get into people's business, we don't judge, and we don't care. Are there racist, fascist, bigoted, sexist, and phobic people here? Absolutely, but they are a very tiny minority. Our state has been politically diverse for a long time and is one of the only states to have an independent senator. I love Maine. Regardless of the hardships of living here, I would never trade this pine tree state for anything. Story 86. There is nothing about this country that makes me proud right now. All I feel is shame and sadness for what we have become. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.